You know how some books are so important, so fundamental to a field, that they basically become the Bible for that entire discipline? Well, what happens when one of the authors of that very Bible turns around and says, yeah, that model we taught you, it's broken? Yeah, you heard that right. That is a direct quote from Dana Chisnall, the co-author of the Handbook of Usability Testing. I mean, this is like hearing the person who wrote the dictionary say that words are now obsolete. It's a shocking statement, especially coming from the ultimate insider. So what's going on here? That's the big mystery we're going to unpack in this explainer. Why would a master of the craft issue such a huge challenge to the very methods she helped write down? To get it, we first have to understand why this book was so revered in the first place. So before we can really dig into why this model is supposedly broken, we have to appreciate why this book became the Bible of its field. We need to understand its authority. For countless pros in UX, quality assurance, and product design, this isn't just a book, it's the book. It's the first place you turn when you need to figure out if people can actually use the thing you're building. And hey, don't just take my word for it. That's from Jared Spool, a total legend in the industry, writing in the foreword to the second edition. When he calls it our Bible, he is not exaggerating. This book literally shaped the entire profession. And here's exactly why it earned that reputation. Reviewers and people in the trenches consistently praise it for being this practical, step-by-step guide. It doesn't just talk about high-level theory. It gives you the blueprint. It teaches you the experimental rigor you need to get results people can actually trust. It is the foundation. So, what does it actually mean to do usability testing by the book? What is this classic model that became the gold standard for everybody? The book's core definition of usability is actually fascinating. It's not about features or shiny new buttons. It's about the absence of frustration. Think about that for a second. True usability is invisible. It's when a person can just do what they want, how they expect to, without hitting a wall. That's the goal the classic method is all about. And to get to that point, to eliminate that frustration, the book lays out this super clear, methodical process. You create a detailed plan, you find the right users, you prep your materials, you conduct the test in a controlled one-on-one session, you analyze the heck out of the data, and then you report your findings. It's structured, it's rigorous, and all that rigor is completely intentional. Chisnell herself confirms it. The classic method is designed to be work because that's how you get credible, actionable data that can stand up to tough questions and actually drive real changes. This is the powerful tool the book gives you. But every tool is designed for a specific job. And this is where the plot thickens. The world that this tool was designed for started to change. And I mean radically. The whole context of how we use technology shifted right from under our feet. This image just perfectly illustrates the old world, doesn't it? The classic testing model, that one-on-one session in a lab, was perfected for this exact paradigm. A single person interacting with a single machine to complete one specific task. Back then, it was all about what we called human-computer interaction. But that's not our world anymore, is it? We've moved from simple human-computer interaction to something way more complex, human relationships that are mediated by technology. Just think about it. The tech we use today isn't just for doing tasks in isolation. It's for connecting, sharing, and living our social lives out loud. And this new reality creates problems that the classic models simply cannot see. For instance, a test of a retirement tool just fell apart because planning for retirement isn't a solo task. It's a family conversation. In a way more serious case, Google Buzz created a social network based on email frequency, which publicly connected a woman to her abusive ex-husband. A one-on-one lab test would never, ever catch that. The isolated model can even fail for its intended user, like that CEO who was so confused by a system built just for him that he actually apologized for ruining the test. So these examples, they highlight a critical flaw. The lab setting, with its one isolated user and a hypothetical task, strips away the most important factor in modern tech, the messy, unpredictable social context of real life. So how do we fix this? If the Bible of testing is broken, what do we do? Just throw it out? Well, not exactly. The answer is a lot more nuanced, and it's all about evolution, not revolution. This analogy from Dana Chisnall is just brilliant, and it perfectly sums up the whole issue. The classic usability test is the hammer. It was a great tool for the nails of the past, those simple human-computer interactions. But now we're dealing with screws, complex, social, interconnected problems. And if you just keep using a hammer on a screw, you're just going to make a mess. The tool isn't broken, but how we're using it is.
So here's the crucial point. The Handbook of Usability Testing isn't wrong. It is absolutely essential. It teaches you the fundamentals of research, of rigor, of observation. It teaches you how to build a perfect hammer. But it's your job to recognize when you're facing a screw and you need to reach for a different tool.
So the modern approach is really a synthesis. You have to learn the rules first, master the rigorous methods in the handbook. But then you have to understand where they fall short. You have to evolve your methods to test for context, for relationships, for the effects of scale. It's all about knowing the rules so well that you know exactly when, why, and how to break them intelligently. For me, this whole idea made me rethink everything about what it means to test a product. We're not just checking if a button works anymore. We are testing a product's impact on entire ecosystems of human relationships, on these complex social networks. And that's a much bigger and way more important responsibility. So I'll leave you with this question. The product you're building, the service you're designing, it doesn't live in a sterile lab. It's going to be used in a messy, complicated, social world full of unexpected connections and consequences. So the question is, how will you test for that?